Good day, ladies and gentlemen. May and Abiharan is the name, and welcome to my game. Just kidding. Welcome to my video. Intro, pasok. Welcome to Unit 2.1, Comparing Child, Adolescent, and Adult Learning. Are you ready to learn something new? I'm sure you are. So what exactly are we waiting for? Let's start!
But before that, I would like to introduce to you our Module 3, Child, Adolescent, and Adult Learning. These are the subtopics. A. Principles of Cognitive Development. B. Young Learners. C. Adolescent Learners. And D. Adult Learners. Learning Outcomes. After this lesson, students will be able to explain what is meant by cognitive development, explain what is and state the importance of schema, differentiate between and provide examples in children of assimilation, accommodation, and equilibration.
The age of students is a large factor for teachers to consider in making decisions about how and what to teach. Teachers must take into account students' learning needs, expectations, cognitive abilities, and skills. For instance, when teaching language, teachers respect children's need to learn languages through play, which is different from adolescents who are in need of activities to trigger their cognitive abilities and to understand abstract notions. In this video, we will be focusing on the principles of cognitive development. I performed my research on the internet and discovered Jean Piaget's 3 main principles of cognitive development. Let's start by defining cognitive development. According to Piaget, cognitive development was a progressive reorganization of mental processes as a result of biological maturation and environmental experience. Children construct an understanding of the world around them, then experience discrepancies between what they already know and what they discover in their environment. Cognitive development occurs through the interaction of innate capacities and environmental events, and children pass through a series of stages which will be discussed further by my group mates. Now that you know what cognitive development is or have had your knowledge renewed, let me ask you a question because this word is important to our discussion today. Okay, here it goes. Is the term schema familiar to you? Yes? No? Maybe? Keep an eye on this video to learn more about it. Schemas. A schema describes both mental and physical actions involved in understanding and knowing. Schemas are categories of knowledge that helps us to interpret and understand the world. In Piaget's view, a schema includes both a category of knowledge and the process of obtaining knowledge. As experiences happen, this new information is used to modify to or to change previously existing schemas. For example, a child may have a schema about a type of animal such as a dog. If the child's sole experience has been with small dogs, a child might believe that dogs are small, furry, and have 4 legs. Suppose then that the child encounters an enormous dog. The child will take in this new information, modifying the previously existing schema to include this new observation. That was the schema. Do you understand it so far? I am hoping that's the case because that word is crucial to the next topic I'll be discussing. Let us move on to Jean Piaget's first principle of cognitive development, which is assimilation. Piaget defined assimilation as the cognitive process of fitting new information into existing cognitive schemas, perceptions, and understanding. Overall belief and understanding of the world do not change as a result of the new information. This means that when you are faced with new information, you make sense of this information by referring to information you already have and try to fit the information into the information that you already have. Do you find that complicated? Okay, for you to understand more, here is an example. For example, a 2-year-old child sees a man who is bald on the top of his head and has long frizzy hair on the sides, the usual style that you can see in a clown. To his father's horror, the toddler shouts, "Clown! Clown! 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 Clown!" That scenario is assimilation. The second cognitive principle is accommodation. Psychologist Jean Piaget defined accommodation as the cognitive process of revising existing cognitive schemas, perceptions, and understanding so that new information can be incorporated.
This happens when the existing schema or knowledge does not work and needs to be changed to deal with the new object or situation.
In order to make sense of some new information, you adjust information you already have or the schemas you already have, etc. to make room of this new information. For example, a young child may have an established schema in which he or she calls any large item with wheels a car. The child points at a large wheeled item with a box on the back and says, "Car!" The child's father responds, "No, that's a truck." The child repeats, "Truck," and proceeds to identify another similar vehicle in the same way, indicating that he or she has modified or accommodated the scheme based on the new information. Let us go back to the clown incident that was an example for assimilation. The boy's father explained to his son that the man was not a clown and that even though his hair was like clowns, he wasn't wearing a funny costume and wasn't doing silly things to make people laugh. With this new knowledge, the boy was able to change his schema of clown and then make this idea fit better to standard concept of clown. Therefore, a child improves his or her thinking by the other information he or she gets. Okay, here is another example that will make you understand both assimilation and accommodation. When a child learns the word for dog, they start to call all four-legged animals as dogs. That is called assimilation. But if the people around them will say, "No, that's not a dog, it's a cat," the schema for dog then gets modified to restrict it to only certain four-legged animals. That is accommodation. Is it clear enough? I really hope so. Let us proceed to the last one, which is equilibration. Piaget believed that all human thought seeks order and is uncomfortable with contradictions and inconsistencies in knowledge structures. In other words, we seek equilibrium in our cognitive structures. Equilibrium occurs when a child's schemas can deal with most new information through assimilation. However, an unpleasant state of disequilibrium occurs when new information cannot be fitted into existing schemas or assimilation. Piaget believed that cognitive development did not progress at a steady rate, but rather in leaps and bounds. Equilibration is the force which drives the learning process, as we do not like to be frustrated and will seek to restore balance by mastering the new challenge or the accommodation. Once the new information is acquired, the process of assimilation with the new schema will continue until the next time we need to make an adjustment to it. Here is an example. A child loves the soup that their family eats on a regular basis. They have developed the schema that all soup is delicious. The child then has a dinner at a friend's house and is served a bowl of soup and hates it. Initially, the child is in the assimilation area of equilibration. They feel that since all soup is good, then soup must be good. They repeatedly keep trying it and disliking it. This leads to disequilibration, which is a state of cognitive conflict and stress. In order to alleviate the disequilibration, the child enters the accommodation phase of equilibration. They adapt their thinking to stop the conflict and realize that not all soup is good and that some of it tastes bad. Did you learn something in this video? I really hope so. Within the classroom, learning should be student-centered and accomplished through active discovery learning. The role of the teacher is to facilitate learning rather than direct tuition. As a result, teachers should consider how young, adolescent, and adult learners learn in the classroom. Please view the videos made by my other group mates to learn more about it. That concludes today's discussion. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful day. Bye!